Welcome back to Legacy Contracts, and if this is your first time here, we're glad you found us. This channel exists for attorneys who sense that something beneath the surface of their firm isn't quite working, even if it's hard to name. Here, we look beyond surface-level efficiency and into the invisible systems shaping how your firm operates, serves clients, and sustains growth. Through practical insight and honest conversation, we help bring clarity to what's often overlooked, so you can lead with intention, not assumption. If you're interested in building a law firm that's not just functional but thoughtfully designed, you're in the right place. Let's begin. Have you ever walked out of a leadership meeting feeling optimistic because everyone agreed something needed to change, only to realize 6 months later that nothing actually changed? The same workflow problems still exist. The same bottlenecks continue slowing the team down. The same decisions keep coming back to leadership, and the same conversations happen over and over again. If that sounds familiar, you're certainly not alone. Over the years of supporting law firms, one of the biggest surprises we here at Legacy Contracts have encountered is this. Most law firms don't struggle to identify operational problems. They struggle to implement operational solutions. Managing partners already know delegation could improve. They know workflows could be more consistent. They know leadership is overloaded. They know their law firm systems and processes have room for improvement. The challenge isn't awareness. The challenge is turning awareness into implementation. And today, we want to talk about why that happens and what successful law firms do differently. Awareness is rarely the problem. One of the biggest misconceptions in legal practice management is that operational issues exist because leadership isn't paying attention. In reality, the opposite is usually true. Most managing partners are incredibly aware. They know which employees are constantly interrupted. They know where client communication breaks down. They know which workflows create unnecessary frustration. They know which decisions always seem to find their way back to their desk. The problem isn't visibility. The problem is implementation. Recognizing an issue feels productive. Talking about it feels productive. Even agreeing on a solution feels productive. But none of those things actually change the way the firm operates. Implementation requires something entirely different. It requires structure. And structure requires intentional design. Why operational improvements keep getting delayed? So why do so many firms postpone the very improvements they know they need? The first reason is surprisingly simple. Operational work rarely feels urgent. Court deadlines are urgent. Client emergencies are urgent. Responding to opposing counsel is urgent. Preparing for hearings is urgent. Documenting workflows, clarifying decision authority, creating accountability systems. Those things rarely feel urgent. They're important, but they don't compete well against today's immediate demands. So leadership tells themselves, we'll work on that next month. Once this case settles, after we finish this trial, when things slow down. But here's the reality for most growing law firms. Things don't slow down. Growth creates more work, more staff, more clients, more communication, more decisions, more complexity. And because operational improvements keep waiting for the perfect time never arrives. The firm still works, so why change? Another reason operational improvements get postponed is because the firm continues functioning. Maybe not efficiently, maybe not consistently, maybe not sustainably, but it functions. Clients are still being served, cases are still moving, revenue is still coming in. From the outside, everything appears fine. But underneath the surface, leadership is quietly compensating for structural gaps every single day. Answering questions, making routine decisions, following up on delegated work, clarifying responsibilities, checking in on progress, resolving confusion. Managing partners become so accustomed to carrying these responsibilities that they begin viewing them as part of leadership itself. But often, They aren't leadership responsibilities. They're operational responsibilities that were never assigned to the system. The hidden cost of waiting. Every operational improvement that's postponed creates hidden work. Maybe leadership answers 10 extra questions every day. That doesn't seem like much, until you realize that's 50 interruptions every week, more than 200 interruptions every month, thousands every year. Each interruption costs attention. It breaks concentration. It delays strategic work. It limits leadership capacity. The same is true for unclear ownership. Every time someone wonders, who handles this? Time is lost. Every approval bottleneck delays progress. Every undocumented workflow creates inconsistency. Every unclear responsibility increases the likelihood of escalation. Individually, these moments feel insignificant. Collectively, they shape the operational health of the firm. This is one of the reasons law firm growth becomes difficult. It's rarely one major failure. It's hundreds of small operational decisions that never became structured. Why bigger isn't better. One mistake many firms make is believing operational improvement requires rebuilding the entire organization. It doesn't. In fact, that's often why nothing gets started. The project feels overwhelming. Instead, focus on one recurring bottleneck, one process, one workflow, one ownership gap, one approval process, one recurring interruption. Ask yourself, what is one issue leadership deals with every single week? Start there. Maybe it's intake, maybe it's client communication, maybe it's document review, maybe it's case assignment, maybe it's billing. You don't have to redesign everything. You simply have to reduce one source of recurring friction, then repeat. The firms that feel stable today weren't built through one massive operational overhaul. They were built through dozens of intentional improvements over time. Think like an architect. One way we like to frame this is by thinking about the difference between architecture and emergency response. Firefighters are more known for solving immediate problems. Architects work to prevent future ones. Managing partners often spend so much time responding to operational fires that they rarely have the opportunity to design systems that prevent those fires from happening again. But sustainable law firm management requires both. Yes, you have to solve today's challenges. But you also have to ask, what allowed this issue to happen in the first place? That's where operational design begins, a question worth asking. Here's a question we'd encourage every managing partner to consider this week. Instead of asking, when will we finally have time to improve our operations? Ask, what operational improvement would save leadership the most time over the next 12 months? That's a very different question, because now you're thinking in terms of return on investment. Every improvement you implement today reduces future interruptions, improves delegation, strengthens accountability, creates better workflow management, protects leadership capacity, and ultimately supports sustainable law firm growth. If there's one idea we'd leave you with today, it's this: operational improvement isn't about finding more time. It's about recognizing that protecting leadership capacity is one of the most valuable investments your firm can make. Because today's operational decisions determine tomorrow's growth. If you found today's conversation helpful, we'd love for you to subscribe to the Legacy Contracts channel. Every week we share practical insights on law firm operations, legal operations, workflow management for law firms, delegation, accountability, and leadership strategies designed to help firms grow with greater clarity and stability. You can also purchase our ebook, Invisible Decisions: The Cost of Undefined Authority. Explore our law firm operations ROI calculator, or take our law firm operational health quiz using the links below. And if you'd like a clearer picture of where operational strain may be forming inside your own practice, schedule a firm structure assessment. Together, we'll identify the operational patterns affecting visibility, ownership, authority, accountability, and capacity, so your firm can grow through intentional structure, not constant intervention. We hope today's insight helped bring clarity to something that may have been operating quietly in the background of your firm. Progress doesn't always start with doing more. It often starts with seeing more clearly. Law firms aren't built overnight. They're shaped by the decisions you make once the invisible becomes visible. This is Legacy Contracts, and until next time, keep leading with clarity.